Would the last superstar in Brooklyn please get the lights? Kyrie out the door Sunday. Kevin Durant followed him in the early morning hours today. There may be a new sheriff in the West. KD on his way to Phoenix, joining his fourth team. He had KD to a Suns bunch, which just got Devin Booker back this week, and that squad has some firepower. The Suns' new owner, Matt Ishbia, was just introduced yesterday. You never get a second chance to make a good first impression. He goes all in. The Suns have been in business for 55 years, still searching for that elusive first NBA title. Here's how the deal lays out. In order to get Durant and TJ Warren, the Suns had to give up 4 unprotected first-round picks in 23, 25, 27, and 29. In addition to a great two-way player in Mikal Bridges, plus Cam Johnson and Jay Crowder, and a pick swap in 28. Prior to the deal, the Suns were 18-1 to win the NBA title. Now they have the second shortest odds at 5-1. And the basketball IQ on the desk just skyrocketed. Our NBA analyst Tim Legler here bright and early this morning to size this one up. So the Suns now, they've got some pieces here, Legs. Obviously, you subtract Mikal Bridges, that's a loss, but you add Durant, TJ Warren's a nice player. Is this the best team in the West in your mind right now?
Yeah, well, first, if anybody needs a small forward, the Nets just got 3 last night. So you might want to call them up if you need to add one. Yeah, listen, on paper going into the season, if this is what their team looked like, yes, that's the best team on paper. You've got now about 25 games to make this fit, get cohesive, get into the playoffs, and find your rhythm. I mean, Kevin Durant's coming off an injury. We expect him to be fine here shortly after the All-Star break. Devin Booker just came back. So this is going to be something that's not going to be seamless. You don't just all of a sudden put these guys out there, a week from now and think they're just going to steamroll the Western Conference, because you can see how loaded it is. But on paper, yes, this is the team that you would look at and say they've got the best fit. They've got a point guard, they've got a 2, they've got a small forward, and they've got a big in their starting lineup, all capable of being dominant. That's the team that should be favored.
Things just got really interesting in the West. All right, we should spend a little bit of time with the Nets here. They had these grand visions, Legs, getting KD and Kyrie and Harden. They were going to win multiple titles. They didn't win multiple playoff series. What lessons do you draw from what happened there?
Unfortunately, I know a lot of people are going to say, see, this is a lesson to teams. You don't just write checks and put names on paper and get championships. The problem is it's not going away, that concept, because players are more restless than ever, and star players are more restless than ever. And you see the number of these guys that are changing teams year after year. So they're going to continue to be experiments like this, and it has paid off in some instances. Miami got 2 rings out of it.
Oh, yeah.
The Toronto Raptors got one by getting Kawhi Leonard for a year. They were all in on that. Kevin Durant going to Golden State turned out pretty well. Yeah. So there has been some success stories, but in this particular example, it's a matter of making sure it's who you are getting in terms of mentally, where are you? And is this going to fit? And are you in it for at least a 3 to 4 year term where you're completely bought in? That was never really the case in Brooklyn, starting with James Harden wanting out, and then all of the distractions that they've had with Kyrie since.
It's not just any big three. It matters who comprises the big three. The Lakers also a success story. They got their title in the bubble, and they responded to losing out on Kyrie by bringing in D'Angelo Russell. They send away Russell Westbrook. He's now in Utah. Given what we know about the conference, Kyrie to Dallas and KD to Phoenix, and how the dust has settled so far, understanding there could be more dust by 3 o'clock, where do the Lakers stack up in the West?
Back in the mix and a threat, and I wouldn't have considered them a threat before these trades went down, because when you take a look at now what they added 2 guys that collectively take 16 threes a night. They desperately needed floor spacing, shooting, and scoring around LeBron and AD, and they added that. But they're gonna miss Russell Westbrook's competitiveness. You can't really put a price tag on that, and I think that he took a raw deal in terms of how much blame was laid at his feet. I thought he had a very good year, and his will to win is something they're going to miss. But they added pieces that fit better around LeBron and AD. The bottom half of the Western Conference playoffs is going to be fascinating, because you've got teams that have pretty much been middle of the pack to this point. Dallas just added Kyrie. Phoenix just got who they got, and then you got the Lakers lurking down there as well. So 3 teams that are going to give those top seeds fits early on. But the Lakers are back in the mix. I don't know if I'd call them a team I expect to get to the finals.
4-13. It's so bunched together here right now in the West. You just don't know what's going to happen. And the arms race may continue. We still got a few hours before the deadline, and some teams may want to ramp up their rosters to respond to both Dallas and Phoenix. Legs joining us this morning here.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.